It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. Time for another episode of the Sleeper Sports Media Podcast, episode 195. This is going to be, again, a review of Monday Night Raw, NXT, and we're going to talk about and predict what is going to go down on AEW Dynamite tonight. And then, of course, we will have our regular preview video updated and shown as a regular video as well. So this is, again, episode 195 of the Sleeper Sports Media Podcast. I am Nick Wietosh. This is going to be another shorter episode today since I am on my lunch break and got out here a little later. I only got about 45 minutes or so. So we are live across multiple platforms: Rumble, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, even though my Facebook still does not automatically default to everything being public when I do my stream. So that's just how it's going to be. And this is how I'm going to do the format. So if you are catching this on YouTube, if you're catching this on Rumble, Twitch, wherever you're catching this, I appreciate it. And if you will please subscribe or follow and just share it out, leave a comment, and definitely appreciate that. And it helps me out more than really anyone could know. So we're going to start with Monday Night Raw results. Since we did not really get to talk about, I know I did a kind of a review there for Monday Night Raw the other day, but again, the ending was just the start to the show was just kind of weird. I still have not gotten back to watch it, but I did see. I did see some clips on it and everything. Seth Rollins emerged with a whole bunch of masked men, and there was resulting in Bedlam. What even are they talking about with that one? Between the Vision, LA Knight, and World Tag Team Champions of the Usos. So I didn't know that the Usos and LA Knight were involved in this one. So I don't know if the Vision, LA Knight, and the Usos against Rollins. Where I don't know where they're going with this, unless it's just the Vision and the Usos, and then LA Knight and Rollins. Are they going to run that one back for WrestleMania? Are they going to join forces? Would LA Knight and Rollins squash the beef they had? And this is going to be interesting to see where they go with this one. But then we had the gauntlet match, of course. Sky would start things off, and she would beat Lyra Valkyria. She would beat Raquel Rodriguez. This was after Stephanie Vaquer came out, distracted Raquel. Liv went off and attacked her, and then Sky got a roll up and a inside cradle for the pin. Sky then defeats Ivy Nile then comes out and defeats Sky. Bailey defeats Ivy Nile. It was interesting that they mentioned that I saw this on Twitter that Rhea Ripley has still yet to defeat Sky, but Ivy Nile went out there and defeated her in 5 minutes, even though it was in a gauntlet match. Whatever you want to say, but Ivy Nile still has a win over Sky, and Rhea Ripley does not. So what does that tell you? Bailey defeated Ivy Nile. Bailey would then defeat Asuka, and Bailey would now become the number one contender for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And of course, we have Becky Lynch chirping on Twitter with AJ Lee and Bailey and Danhausen. Jessica Carr is getting involved, saying about Danhausen going to curse her because Becky told him that she was impersonating Becky. It was a whole big thing, and it's hilarious. Danhausen is such a funny character, and now is doing great things in WWE. So happy he's over here now. Penta retains his Intercontinental Championship. Then we had Dom in the Judgment Day segment where Finn would get beat down by the Judgment Day there. We would have Obafemi defeat Rusev, and then CM Punk and Jay and the Usos would have a standoff and would have a standoff there and would do their thing and go back and forth, and it was just a mess. It was very messy. Seemed very unorganized. not at all good pacing with anything they really that they did. I understand that they only had 3 matches because we did have a gauntlet match, so there was multiple matches within that one, but still, the fact that there were still 3 to 5 minutes of commercials spread out in between the gauntlet match. Usually, with the gauntlet match, they usually say, "Hey, 1 hour free, 1 hour commercial free," and they just fill it with a gauntlet match. Then we also had the backstage segments for them. Kofi Kingston offers Javon Evans a to join the New Day. So we'll see if Javon accepts that. A heel Javon Evans is would be something that's very interesting, and I don't think anyone would really uh, expect that out of creative and out of the way that they've been going. Stephanie Vaquer, of course, cut another vignette promo against Liv Morgan. Had her um, sit there and read her promo because they have to do these subtitles and can't get her a mouthpiece or someone that can talk for her. We had Danhausen curse the original Grande Americano, who was supposed to be the one facing Penta for that Intercontinental Championship, and then the imposter Kaiser would go out and accept that challenge. And then Maxine Dupree returned and attacked Natty. That was during a commercial as well. And that was Monday Night Raw. From Monday, we have NXT from last night. Was wildly better than Monday Night Raw. What would be? But we had triple threat match between Shawn Legacy, Eli Knight, and Jasper Troy, which ended in a controversial way. We had a double pin. Troy, who dominated the match early on, just by his size and putting out size over the agility and speed of his opponents. We would get even more chaos when Carver and put Troy through an announce table, which would then have us with a Keanu Carver and Booker T stare down face to face. And this was a message from Carver to Booker T. Troy would get back into the ring and then was the one who took the pin via double simultaneous splashes, and then both superstars who got the pin, where they were both then the winner. So these two are continuing to win, and we're gonna see what they have in store next for that title picture there for the speed title there. Then we would have a reunion of NQCC, No Quarter Catch Crew. Lexis King and Uriah Connors would defeat Charlie Dempsey and Tavion Heights. However, Charlie Dempsey make his would draw a line in the sand. It would give his allegiance now to Lexis King's group, all the Nepo babies, and he would do so by aligning with his dad, William Regal. NXT's new group, they are going by Birthright, became even more dangerous when Charlie Dempsey would betray his No Quarter Catch Crew, former No Quarter Catch Crew brethren, and would turn on him, hit him with a suplex, and then walk away. Fit Finley would appear with William Regal, and that's how they did that. So Connors would deliver a running knee, and then Lexis King hit the coronation, and that one. Tony D'Angelo came out and threatened Joe Hendry, the NXT champion, saying that he is next and he is calling his shot for the NXT championship. Sol Ruca would go on to defeat Laney Reed, which is uh, a way to. This was a way to weaken Sol Ruca ahead of their matchup for the triple threat next week in Houston, which I thought that was last night, so I got that wrong in my NXT preview. But Sol Ruca would pick up a big win. Then JC Jane and the rest of Fatal Influence were seen backstage, left dumbfounded, and they now have to go into Houston without that momentum. Uh, another Another championship match that we can expect in Houston next week on Tuesday is Ren Sinclair for the speed championship. Um, she would defeat Thea Hale in the final there, and that would punch her ticket to the finals for the speed tournament. And now the she will face the speed champion in Fallon Henley at NXT in Houston next Tuesday. Ethan Page and Ricky Saints in the main event would defeat Joe Hendry and Miles Bourne. This was kind of opposite of what I was thinking, but it was a good match overall, good tag team match there. We will sure we'll be running that back very soon. There was other notes here with the results there. Again, Izzy Dame would verbally go after Tatum Paxley, and we would see Robert Stone solve that chaos that spilled out into the backstage area by saying that Izzy Dame gets an automatic rematch for the Women's North American Championship, and that will be next Tuesday in Houston in a steel cage match, along with a tournament that was announced for the next contenders for the NXT Tag Team Championships with the Vanity Project. That will all go down and start next week on NXT in Houston, as well as Booker T Appreciation Night in Houston. And that was NXT, wildly better than Monday Night Raw, which it has been for quite some time, which is no surprise to really anybody. So we got through Monday Night Raw, we got through NXT. Now it is time for the uh, Dynamite preview, and I will be throwing the graphics up just so I can go back and clip them, and get this video up, get the video uploaded by like we normally do here on the channel. So we're gonna start here with the AEW Dynamite preview. This is of course the go home show of AEW Dynamite for before Revolution. Find out really quickly where we are tonight. I think they're in San Jose. I do believe, because I saw MJF tweeting out, and of course just yes, they are at the um San Jose Civic. Okay, the San Jose Civic Center, um, which is not to be confused with the Honda Civic Center, of course, but that is we are there in San Jose, and we have a bunch of action set for tonight. Couple title matches, couple tag matches. We get all into all of that here on Sleeper Sports Media episode 195. But before we do that, I do want to thank our friends over at No Dirt Sheets and their for their link with Surfshark VPN. I also want to thank one of our new partners here, thanks to Rumble. So shout out to Rumble Premium, and also shout out to switch this one. Um, Rumble Premium, you can, of course, download that $10 a month. You get access to a lot of things, as well as getting premium, no ads. It's very similar to YouTube Premium, but with Rumble Premium, you can actually create videos, and then you can have a referral link, and you can make a little bit of money by creating videos and doing what it is that I do if you have an interest in that. So we got 4 people watching over on you. Oh, never mind. We had 4 people watching on YouTube there. We got some chat. What's up, Chad? How are you? Thank you for joining us here. I wish I could put that up. Um, I guess I can turn the chat on there. But thank you for watching with us. But yes, shout out to Blackout Coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I have no doubt that this is a great coffee brand, because it is America first, and very proud to be American made. So shout out to Blackout Coffee, which is something that we get from doing the lives on Rumble. It gives us an idea of using code Rumble 20 or Nick W 20 for 20% off, with that with the so get your coffee that way. So we're back to the AEW Dynamite preview. Um, And we're going to start things off with, I have to go in and add one by one for these. So we're going to start off uh, with a tag match with Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. I'm naming them Deathly Squeeze. They take on Deathly Squeeze will take on Gabe Kidd and David Finley of the Dogs tonight on Dynamite. Chad, I see your comment there. Let me get through this Dynamite preview, and then I'll jump in and we can talk some Steelers. Brock Hoffman. I'm not happy to see someone made false reports. Not happy someone made false reports. Yeah, free agency is going wild right now. But we'll get to that here in just a second. I do want to get through this Dynamite preview so I can get that video out like we normally have out here. But we have that tag match. We also have um, multiple title matches, like I said, a trios match, as well as the tag match there. And we have a press conference, which I'm interested to see how they do this press conference live on a Dynamite. Um, but we'll definitely see how they do that. And this tag match again, Gabe Darby was feuding with the Death Riders. Now all of a sudden, now he's feuding with the Dogs. We had Gabe Kidd was kind of siding with the Death Riders, but now we have the full faction of the Dogs in AEW. So, of course, Darby Allin has to always be going up against someone who literally wants to kill him. And then, Orange Cassidy isn't doing much of anything besides teaming with Tony Storm. So it does kind of make sense that these two are now together here, but that is a tag match set for tonight. I don't know the order, so the order that I'm going through these are not necessarily the order that they're going to be for the show. But here we are anyway. We got the live chats actually that is in the way. There we go. Let me check the chat here. What's up, Tyler? It's other account. What up, Nick? How are you, man? Thank you for joining us there on the YouTube side. I'm also live on Twitch and Rumble as Facebook as well, but I appreciate you guys over there on the YouTube side of things. So the TBS Championship will be on the line tonight. Willow Nightingale against Persephone from CMLL. The TBS Championship. Willow has been killing it. She needs to defend it more though. I know that they've been doing media over in the UK. That they were seeing on like Collision and stuff. But Willow needs to get a couple more title defenses. And it's been very lackluster since kind of switching it. They've switched focus from what Willow and the tag titles were doing to where the world titles are and or world title is with the women's side and everything. And not that that's a bad thing, but they need to do it an even job of showing that the TBS title, the tag titles, and maybe get another tournament going to determine their number one contenders, with Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford seemingly being the two that we're getting more tag team reps, but now Penelope Ford is hurt, and so on and so forth. But the TBS title is on the line tonight. And then we have, like I said, the press conference, MJF and Hangman Adam Page ahead of their Texas Death Match for MJF's World Championship at Revolution, which is just a couple days away. This is the go home show for Revolution, as I said before we started this off. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this press conference style. If it's going to be set in the ring, if it's going to be just pre recorded, if it's going to be if Tony Khan will be involved, if it's going to be Tony Schiavone, which I assume it would be. It'll be very interesting um, to see kind of where we go with this. So Tyler, I appreciate if you're still watching. I can't throw the comments up because it blocks the right hand side there, but I definitely appreciate it nonetheless. Let's see here. We got the next matchup here is a trios match. Dem Bucks, Mark Briscoe and the Young Bucks against FTR and Tommaso Ciampa. We saw Tommaso Ciampa turn on Mark Briscoe on Dynamite. Side note, Kevin Knight just re-signed to AEW. Thank you, Tyler, for that breaking news. Kevin Knight re-signs to AEW, which is great for him. He's been doing a great job. He um, just got a shot for the world title and now re-signs. I saw also yesterday AJ Francis re-signed with TNA. So we'll do our TNA preview tomorrow on Thursday. But today is Wednesday, and again, you know what that means. So this trios match should be really good. FTR, the Young Bucks going up against each other on Sunday for the world tag titles, and then Ciampa and Briscoe, of course, they're feuding after their TNT matches, TNT title matches. But Ciampa turned on Briscoe, and now we are seeing this 6-man or trios match tonight on Dynamite ahead of their tag title defense for FTR on Sunday. And then a tag match, we have Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli versus Takeshita and Hechicero. Again, the Don Callis family has been going and feuding with the Death Riders for far too long. I thought WWE was rinse, wash, and repeat, but AEW, they are hitting every single sort of combination. And I know Tony Khan is paying for the super ultra premium edition of ChatGPT to get different scenarios and just running through every combination of the Don Callis family, of the Death Riders. Tag man, 6-man, 8-man, Anarchy in the Arena, Stadium Stampede. They're going to do every single war game, blood and guts. They're going to do every single form, fashion, combination, and every single match type and stipulation for the Death Riders and the Don Callis family. And I am so sick of it. We need to move on. We need to move on. There's no more Death Riders versus everybody. Death Riders versus the world. No, it's just the Death Riders versus Don Callis family, and it needs to stop. This is, of course, ahead of Jon Moxley and Takeshita's Continental Championship match at Revolution on Sunday. That one, of course, has no time limit after their last matchup, which did end via the time limit. So we got a time limit draw. But that match goes down tonight. The title match, of course, goes down on Sunday at Revolution. And our final match tonight on Dynamite, they might add more. We don't really know. And so we go live at 8 o'clock on TBS and HBO Max. But we have another chat here. I agree with you on that. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that. Of course, 5 watching on YouTube. We're getting there. We're getting there. I would love to get some more eyes over on the Rumble side, but we're gonna stick to multi-streaming. So, but TNT Championship is Mike Bailey and Kyle Fletcher. They go 1-on-1 tonight for that TNT Championship. And again, Kyle Fletcher. I'm not a fan of Kyle Fletcher. Not really a fan necessarily of Speedball Mike Bailey, but it would be cool to see him win the title after dropping 2, see him sneak one by and get a big win for him and get that title away from the Don Callis family, who's just holding it hostage. That is going to, again, be the AEW Dynamite preview portion of the show today. We're about 20 minutes and got about 20 minutes left. Really about 25 minutes and 20 minutes left. So I took my lunch a little earlier today, and I'm regretting it. Instead of just taking it at 2 and going to actually get lunch, but I wanted to get a show out and get the AEW preview done. But again, this is Sleeper Sports Media, the AEW Dynamite preview for March 11th. They're in San Jose, California, and I'm just gonna end it like I would normally, but keep the show going here. Tyler likes Kyle Fletcher. I mean, I get it. I guess he's great in the ring. He's one of those guys that uh, um, he's faking it until he makes it. Really, is how I see Kyle Fletcher. But again, AEW Dynamite tonight, live 8 p.m. TBS, HBO Max. And then Revolution is this Sunday. We'll do a Revolution preview and predictions on Saturday at some point. I don't know when. Probably right before Collision. We'll do that, or maybe after Collision to see if they add any more matches. Probably after Collision, just so I can get all the graphics together because I know they're going to announce their 0 hour shows and and all that. We only have 9 out of 10 matches made so far, and we have 9 out of 10 graphics for those 10 matches. So um, we will, of course, do more for the Revolution preview, along with the Collision preview coming this weekend. But for Sleeper Sports Media, I'm Nick Wietosh, and here we go. All right. So again, not going to end the show just yet. Still got about 20 minutes, so we're going to end up going 45 minutes in total. But that was just so I can clip and get the preview video to stand alone by itself there for today. So I know Tyler mentioned some free agency news for the Steelers there. Yes, they are making big time moves. They just re-signed James Harrison yesterday to a 2 year deal, 16.5 million, I think, per season. They announced that yesterday. So let's see. Cam Johnston just re-signed with the Steelers. So we have re-signed a punter. Let's see, what else did they here we go. I saw that somewhere. No, I saw this yesterday, but the Steelers Twitter, or no, maybe I saw it on Instagram or something. I know I saw it and it was official. Um, but yes, the Steelers, they are doing um some some big things, man. They are doing some big things. So with free agency starting hot out the gate. Um, Excited for football, excited for the draft, excited for them revamping their offense finally. Let's see what Tyler's saying. Happy Cam Johnson is back. Me too. Um, yeah, they're doing some great things. Hold on 1 second. They're doing some great things with revamping that team and that offense. Should be a fun year. Hopefully, we find out soon what Aaron Rodgers wants to do. If he wants to come back, if he's gonna actually retire, if he's gonna come back. If not, let's rock and roll with Will Howard, man. I want to see what the kid can do with the weapons that they are getting him right now with that offense. Pat Fryermuth going out and getting a number 2 receiver. Um, a year to the day when they signed DK Metcalf. So we can only assume that going forward this year, for the next couple of years, March 9th, the Steelers will go and do something big and sign a big piece of that offense. But that for right now. What's up, Chad? Now we need to sign offensive lineman since we didn't sign that Hoffman. Yeah, we let Isaac Siamalo go as well. I saw, but yeah, I'm sure they'll revamp and they always draft heavy with offensive linemen. So I think that they're gonna take the chance with finding a diamond in the draft. I know a lot of people are going to want them to go and draft a quarterback. I don't think they need to because they would run into the same issue of what we had last year. Um, Will Howard doesn't has not had a snap yet, so let's let Will Howard get a fair shot. Unlike we gave Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, if they let him start, and then uh, I don't want to see that happen again. What happened to Mitch and Kenny happened to Mason. Mason, struggles for a game or two, and then they chant, "We want Howard, we want Howard." Um, I don't think Mason deserves that, but him going into the year, if he is QB1, he should get a fair shot up until it would just be time to make a change if he ends up not being able to win games, I think then Will Howard should get a shot. If Aaron Rodgers does come back, I think it should be Rodgers, Mason, and then Will Howard. And you let Will Howard learn for another year under the tutelage of Aaron Rodgers. And then I think Mason will kind of see the writing on the wall. I want Lemon or Will Howard. Carnell Tate is as our first round pick. Um, yeah, I mean, um, I think, yeah, I think they're gonna go heavy with the linemen. I really do, and yeah, they Will Howard, I think, can be the guy, especially with the weapons that we now have on offense. I mean, Pat Fryermuth, Jalen Warren. We signed a running back from Carolina. Which, speaking of Carolina, Kenny Pickett just signed a year deal with the Panthers. That's now his fifth team in 5 years. Um, which I feel bad for him, but I also don't because the way he chose to leave Pittsburgh is kind of says everything you need to know about Kenny Pickett. I mean, yeah, he is showing up to work. He was expecting to be the starter in Vegas, and then goes and ends up now with the Panthers. So the Steelers, who did play the Panthers last year in the preseason, it's going to be interesting to see if if we get if we get to play them again and how that will go. It's going to be very, very, very interesting to see what goes down with that. But yeah, ready for football, but also not ready for football because that means that WrestleMania season will be over, and then we'll be on the road to SummerSlam, which is in Minneapolis this year, another 2 night event. So I definitely can see. I could see somehow Tiffany Stratton getting back into the title picture. Um, I mean, I guess she's not really a heel anymore, but I think she's gonna change something up, and we're gonna get a better likable Tiffany, and not the annoying high pitched squealing wheeling dealing, still laughing about the tiny hands Pickett had, picking a Panther again. Yeah, I see what you mean, a Panther again, going from Pitt to Carolina. So, um, yeah, I mean, I was a Kenny guy from day one. I got a jersey of him, and I wished it could have worked out. But we see how things went for that scenario. Glad for him to be a Super Bowl champion. He still has a Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson. However, you cut it. When it comes down to do you win rings, Kenny Pickett has a ring. Um, with that Eagles team from a couple years ago. So it's pretty cool to him growing up an Eagles fan and then going uh, uh pretty cool for him to go and do that, win a Super Bowl with the team that you cheered for growing up. Um let's see here. What else do we have to run down here real quick? 1 second. I'm just checking on some things here. Yeah, the draft. Another big thing I also thought to mention just now was with the draft being in Pittsburgh, Le'Veon Bell tried to get Logan to box him and wanted to set up an event and do all this and that. And Logan said fine, but he would have to train. He didn't want it. He said from the jump he did not want to train for an event because of WWE. Then they said about doing a sparring session, and I think WWE knew what that meant. Um, and they don't want to risk him getting hurt because, I mean, the way that the Vision storyline has been going, there probably is that risk of Logan doing something crazy and getting hurt, which would absolutely, I think, kill all momentum for the Vision line storyline, and then you would be stuck. You would be stuck. Um, and it would it just it would not be good with what we're seeing with the vision and the way that they're going with that. So Seth Rollins, of course, is back, but I think he's back sooner than they expected him to be back because he is not cleared. Um, and now the way the vision line storyline has been going, it's up in the air with Rollins in theory. Are they going after the tag titles? Paul Heyman is apparently out indefinitely after the stomp from Rollins. No, I mean I know we saw him with a bloody nose and everything. Is he going to be back with Brock Lesnar? That out definitely. I can't even remember where I saw that from. But we will. Yeah, we'll monitor that situation, and we'll be dissecting everything, of course, leading up to WrestleMania. And it's so funny. I'll end here with this another for about 10 minutes. Um, it's so funny that Dave Meltzer the other day I saw a video of him and Brian Alvarez talking about the booking and being lazy and being predictable, which is why they're doing stuff. Um, they're 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 so predictable that they're doing stuff that is predictable. Taking the title off of Drew to put it on Cody when they wanted Cody to go in as the challenger at WrestleMania, but now he's going in as the champion because it would be too predictable. For Cody to go into WrestleMania, we would know that he would be winning. Why not have him in the title picture at all? He went from needing to finish his damn story to now holding the WWE title tighter than Tony Khan holds his cups at a press conference. I mean, holy shit. I was agreeing with Brian Alvarez and Dave fucking Meltzer. And that is that's pathetic. When they're making good points, it's bad. It's bad. Very bad. Um but yes, Logan Paul and Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon then goes and tweets and says about showing up to WWE, and I want him to stay the hell away from WWE because I love Le'Veon Bell as a former Steeler. I wish he could have stayed in Pittsburgh. He got greedy and turned down 16.5 million. Um, and then and we saw where his career went. But whatever it is, for him to come out here and start talking shit, saying that Logan can't put up the million, this and that, and that WWE, anyone else who's saying that Logan had WWE call and tell him no, that's bullshit. Um, that why would he start that just to fake a phone call and shut the hell up. You don't know how the WWE works. This whole flag football game of Tom Brady and Gronk now turning and switching up and talking shit to Logan and about Logan from Gronk's side of things. I mean, he had the chance to fight him and he chose not to. Now he's saying that he wants to he's not scared to go down and brawl and for during the flag football game or whatever. Man, shut the hell up, Gronk. Fucking idiot. Um, you know, Logan is Logan and Jake both are fighters. In other news on Jake Paul, he's stated that he has no intention of fighting Tommy Fury right now because they're too hard to work with, and he said no lies in what he said with the fact that Tommy Fury knows that his biggest payday is with a fight with Jake, but that they are going to try to milk out every penny that they can, even though they're not worth more than what Jake has already offered. So that rematch, excuse me, that rematch would be fantastic. I think, and Jake would get to right that wrong, especially after coming off the loss to Joshua, um, and just getting a bounce back win. I do think that the fact that the doctors are telling him not to spar for another 4 to 6 months with that jaw, I think that tells you everything that you need to know, and that we won't be seeing Jake um, in a boxing ring fighting up until the end towards not until the end of the year this year or early next year, which February 27 I think would be the perfect time to right the wrong from February of 23, that loss against Tommy Fury. But they got to do it in either the UK or the States. And I think Tommy Fury is now allowed in the States, so there's no reason why they couldn't make that happen at MSG. But I think Jake needs to stay in the cruiserweight division. Jake needs to stay away from guys like Francis Ngannou. I don't know why he would even start chirping at him like he was at the press conference yesterday for Ronda Rousey and the Gina card. Also adding Francis Ngannou to that card for May 16th live on Netflix. And then everything that he's doing with MVPW and his ranch and that channel. Jake has plenty going on. So he does definitely does not to um, need to be fighting anytime soon. He can definitely take that time to rest up, recover, um, and then we'll revisit. I'm sure that the next time he makes an announcement, it's going to be absolutely huge. We know MVPW is going to be on ESPN going forward. We have 4 events right off the rip with that part of MVP, and I'm really hoping that Amanda Serrano stays with MVP. I know she was front and center and the first one in the promotional video when announcing that partnership with ESPN. Um, and she wants to fight on ESPN. She has not gotten to. Um, she's fought on Netflix, fought on DAZN. But her to fight on ESPN would be absolutely huge, and I'm very excited to see what they're doing with MVPW along with Alicia Bumgarner and Shadeja Green. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of Shadeja Green because I did got to meet her at Jake's fight in Orlando back in 23, which was my graduation gift. So a lot of fun, fun times at that event. MVP puts on great events, um, and they have a lot coming up. Of course, with May 16th, April 4th, um, and then just going down from there. Boxing, MMA, finally getting MVP MMA. I think maybe Jake takes a break from boxing, and whenever he comes back late this year or early next year, could be in MMA. For of course for MVP, we know his contract with the PFL ran out. We did not get to see him. Um, didn't get to see him fight at all. I don't think he has anything to do with the PFL anymore. I think he kind of saw the writing on the wall that they were going a different direction with the way they model things, which is very weird and very weird to start before Jake even got involved and made that super fight division. Ultimately, I think that fell apart because of just the creative differences and money wise for the PFL. They have like a regular season and then the playoffs, and they don't just have one fight per month. They do a whole bunch of different things, which is fine. But I think if you have just regular PFL similar to the UFC, but you keep the pay per view model, which Ronda Rousey made a really good point about this in the press conference the other day. With which is why we're getting the Ronda Gina fight on MVP and on Netflix. That Dana doesn't have really much of anything to do with the UFC matchmaking anymore, and he's said this. Um, that it's all ran by TKO and Endeavor, and they're catering to the shareholders, and that's why they did the Paramount Plus deal, and got are getting away from the pay per view model. And I agree. I think the pay per view model, of course, was beneficial to the fighters, but I think it also was as equal as important because you chose to put on the best fights on pay per view because it was behind that paywall. Now, anyone with Paramount Plus can see all these fights. Who cares? Just put the fights together and let it be that. The White House card, I think, is a big time letdown. And I agree with Rhonda that Dana is super frustrated with the card. Um, so that is very it's going to be very interesting to see going forward how fighters do choose to sign with who they choose to sign to. Nagano made a great point that he's happy doing the whole independent contractor thing and not signing a multi-fight deal with any certain organization. And just going forward, we're going to see him kind of do his own thing, sign in a fight here, sign a fight there, do a deal here, do a deal there. But plenty more on that as we get closer to Ronda Rousey and her return to MMA and the launch of MVP MMA live on Netflix on May 16th. But until we have more coming for that, this was Sleeper Sports Media Podcast, episode 196. I am Nick Wietosh. We will see you tomorrow, and here we go.